Hi friends, we thought I was going to play a video that I created earlier today, but and then I looked online and I saw I could hardly believe my eyes, the really unfortunate news that Julian Assange has been refused bail and has been sent back to that COVID-ridden Belmarsh prison, which could be a death sentence in a couple of ways, where he gets COVID because they're sending all the COVID cases, it seems, to his wing, from what I've heard. And the other thing is because he is likely to hide his suicidal ideation that he's had for some time now, and that's a fear that they have, that he's going to hide that from his doctors, because he says that being observed is torture in that prison, being observed 24 hours a day, or whatever they do, I don't know. And but also that he may think that this and he's going to be kept there apparently until the US appeal, and I don't know when that is. I've heard somebody said, I don't know, I'm not sure when that is. Maybe somebody can enlighten me, but it could be a long time. So that's just more torture, and this goes completely against what Judge Barrister has said in her ruling, that the reason she did not wish to extradite him was because of his mental state, and that she thought that he would end up killing himself in a SAMS, a Special Administrative Measures prison in the US. So that was what she said. Why she said she was not going to extradite him, and then they do this cruel thing, incredibly cruel, beyond. I mean, there is no words to describe how sadistic this is, to then refuse that man who is sort of really in dire shape, in physically and mentally, to then go and do this to him is it just shows the sadistic nature of the US empire, because I don't know whether they'd prearranged this with Judge Barrister and said, do this, and then when he goes to get bail, then do that, and basically it's just this is sadistic actions, or whether somebody contacted her from the Department of the Defense Department or somewhere from the US, and said, they may have even said, look, the NSA has a lot of dirt on you, you better do this. Or maybe she seems like a bit of she doesn't seem to have much empathy in her body, so maybe they just said, look, we want you to do this, and she's done that, so this is their direction. And Max Blumenthal seems to think that, or is it Kevin Gostola from Shadowproof was basically saying they just want to keep him tied up so that he can never ever challenge them again. And somebody else just basically said this is a way of, I just think this looks like it's a way of actually just killing him, basically. If you keep doing this to someone who is mentally in a fragile mental state, and they've already expressed a lot of suicidal ideation, this is a great way to just push them over the edge, give them some hope, and then crush it, and then they have no idea how long. That's the sort of the torturous nature of the detention centres in Australia, where these people in detention centres have no idea when they're ever going to be released, and that is a torture in itself, that you don't know when it's going to end, and that's what they're doing to him. So this is almost forcing him to kill himself, forcing him to sort of be so bereft of hope, and to get a glimmer of hope, and then for that to be dashed, and then to basically push him over the edge. And that is the sadistic nature of empire. That's why we have to do everything we can to to end this empire, because it's the purveyor of violence all over the world, the greatest purveyor of violence all over the world, and this is the sort of psychopaths they have there, that they don't even care about his young children or his partner. He's got 2 young children, under the age of 6. They've never spent time with their father, except at a prison, and probably from a distance. I mean, what kind of psychopaths are these people? So, I mean, I'm not, we can't give up hope, of course. We have to keep on fighting. I mean, he wasn't out of the woods anyway, but this is like a major, major setback. And the thing that I'm most afraid of, and other people are most afraid of, is that he's going to kill himself, because he will lose all hope, and he's seriously depressed, and has been seriously depressed, and has been planning his own suicide. For a while. He was saving up razor blades at one point.
Well, you wouldn't want to be going to...
He's very, very clever. He's an intelligent man, and there's a way that he will find a way, and they'll be probably quite happy for him to do that. So, I mean, it's just beyond appalling. And the funny thing is, when I saw that, although I could hardly believe my eyes, there was this other part of me just thought, yes, of course, of course something like this is going to happen, because sadly there never seems to be any good news or any good outcomes most of the time. It's all just a complete SHIT show. It's just, everything just turns to shit, basically. I'm sorry to sound like this today, but I just kind of, there was a moment where I just thought, you've got to be kidding me, and then I thought, no, I'm not going to let myself go into that sort of depressive thing, and just kind of, accept that this is of course what they're going to do. They're going to fuck him around and fuck him around and fuck him around till he kills himself. Then again, on the other hand, people might be so outraged that they really do something. I mean, I'm going to ring a few people tomorrow. Not that they're going to take any notice, but you've got to do something. I'm going to ring these fuckheads in government. This fucking Albanese, and I won't even bother with... I'd probably even ring Scott Morrison's thing. Not that he's even worse, but ring the Greens. It's just just appalling.
Ridiculous.
Hey?
The Morrison government said, well, when he gets out, he can always come here.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd be happy. Well, Australia would be happy to extradite him to the US, even though he's an Australian citizen.
And Marissa Payne, I mean, they employ these people for a reason. Like Marissa Payne.
Hi, Holly.
She is a total... she'll just do whatever the hell they want her to do.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell they want her to do. She doesn't have a independent bone in her body. And that's why they employ those kinds of people. Because they're just US lackeys.
So I don't know if they prearranged it or not. They possibly did.
I reckon they did. Did he?
You
I
think
think
so?
Well, I think
you think
it's
the
more...
US responded and said,
yeah,
well, you better not bloody let him out.
I think that they tapped her on the shoulder and said, we're very unhappy with that decision.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what happened.
You have to do this now. Because the one of the reasons she's been upholding all those terrible precedents for, that are going to affect press freedom. She's upheld all of that, and then, but the one thing that she didn't do was extradite him. So so they weren't happy with that, and they probably, that's why the NSA can be very handy when you're spying on everybody, and I'm sure they've been spying on her all the time to make sure that she's on track, right? They've either been spying on her, did he?
Yeah.
They've either been spying on her, or she's a complete, she just does whatever they want. And they might have dirt on her, and they may have said, look, that's not acceptable.
I think she
just went that way.
Quite possibly the government told her to find, like not let him out.
Yeah, and I read something.
I mean, it may not have been her. The U.S. may just have approached, the UK government and put pressure on them, and then they turned around and put pressure on her. You know what I mean?
Hang on, I'm sorry. I was just reading something. Sorry about that.
Oh.
I was just going to read the thing that Max Blumenthal said, which was
Hi, Odin.
Judge Baretz's decision to deny Assange bail and keep him confined to a COVID-infested prison is an extension of the CIA's campaign to destroy him and WikiLeaks, which I covered here with documents and testimonies from Langley's apparent contractor. And then he posts an article. This is on Max Blumenthal's Twitter page, and he also, WikiLeaks has posted something which said, Stratfor email on Assange's arrest from 2010. Quote, pile on, move him from country to country to face various charges for the next 25 years, but seize everything he and his family own, to include every person linked to Wiki. So that was from 2010. That was the Stratfor email on Assange's arrest. So basically, harangue him and torture him and destroy him, including his family. I mean, this is sort of almost like, this is beyond mafia stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is the kind of retribution you need a government to do.
Yeah, this is sort of, dreadful. And, I mean, you would think this would be more than enough. I know that you like that, that journalist said that, this what's happening to Assange for the last 10 years is the equivalent of a severed head on a pike outside the gates of a city. It's just this warning. You would think all of this would be more than enough of an example, right? That people really think twice before they ever do anything, right? But no, we've got to take this to such lengths that it's just a complete horror fest, and filling people with some hope and then dashing it and then driving them to actually kill themselves, which is quite probable. That he'll never ever get out of the only way he'll get out of Belmarsh is through, in a body bag, basically. That's what's probably going to happen. So, or COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's the pessimistic side of me who thinks that he's going to kill himself, which is quite. There's a high probability of that. The other side of me thinks that there hopefully might be such an uproar about it that something happens. You know what I'm saying, Diddy?
Yeah.
So there's a possibility there might be such an uproar, but I'm not really sure anymore whether any of these psychopaths pay any attention whatsoever to anybody, including people from, people in power. Even if they've decided something, they just go along with it. Like I bet you that even if, say, not that she would do this, but just say even the Queen said, I think this is not a great idea. This is a bad thing to do. I don't think they'd even take any notice of her. Do you know what I mean?
She's not important enough.
No, but I'm saying that kind of level of fame or power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think it's sort of like it's there now. It's that kind of thing where they don't give a shit what people think anymore. Anybody, the public, or any sort of anybody. You know what I mean? It's just sort of a fascist sort of psychopathy of non-caring, and it's nuts, basically.
Yeah.
Hi Holly, hi Odin. Hi.
Blumenthal is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sociopaths. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah.
we weren't going to come on for long. I was going to do this. I posted that video, and then I changed the time to the morning because I just sort of thought, we were actually going to come on anyway, and then I saw this fucking thing, and then I thought,
and then
oh, Jesus.
It kind of
unfucking believable.
Crushes you in some ways. Just
yeah, I can't. I don't think I could be. If I get crushed anymore, I'm going to be below ground level. I mean, like I feel like there's just so little that's good that happens, you know? Like I thought this might be the one sort of, we might have travailed into some other universe for a little bit where things actually go right. You know, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can tell there's quite a few people are very upset about it on Twitter anyway. And the European Union stops recognizing the opposition leader Juan Guaido, that loser, as interim president of Venezuela after the installation of the country's new National Assembly. Well, that's nice.
Yes, well, the person that replaces him has been done for corruption, and he was a previous candidate for opposition leader, and he was done for corruption and so on, and organizing death squads.
Oh, you're talking about Lopez?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, he's a...
he's the one who's the new favourite.
He's a fun guy. And John Pilger said about Assange, Judge Barretza has refused to grant Julian Assange bail even though she acknowledges his extreme suffering in prison. Such is the queen of cruelty, but there is an informed hint from Washington that Biden may not pursue an appeal to the UK High Court, where Julian will win. So I don't know what he means by that. I don't know if he has some informer that has given him some information. I don't know, but you know, I don't know. These people, I don't know. There's a lot of people want to see Julian Assange dead, and one of them is Hillary Clinton and her crew. I mean, and you know, all those different folks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
a lot of people in the U.S. Deep state type things.
What's that?
Yeah, a lot of spooks would like to see him dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Odin says they think he has the paranoia bit like me telling you in a certain manner. I know you think, my God, what if he knows that they fear what he has had access to. They say it not political yet. There is a charge of espionage and a charge for treason or some such. Those are political charges. He is in fact and definition a political prisoner. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it can't be treason because he's not a U.S. citizen.
No.
So
oh, that's all
could
nonsense.
It be treason?
That's an old, stupid espionage act from the early 20th century. Anyway, it's all stupid. It's all just BS. Anyway. Yeah. Anyhow, that's the way it goes.
Hi, guys. Oh, 6 legs. Funny little back legs these guys have.
Anyway, Chelsea Manning
it's just
did the best she could.
Totally disgusting. Yes.
Yeah.
Chelsea Manning's a hero.
Hey?
Chelsea Manning's a hero.
She tried to...
She wasn't going to dob him in. Doesn't matter what they did.
She wasn't going to dob him in. She's a real... God, she's a real hero.
Yeah, or I shouldn't say dob him in. He didn't do anything.
No.
She wasn't going to
mess
cooperate with U.S. government to try and destroy him.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah, Biden is well connected to Hillary Clinton. Certainly is.
What's that?
Oh, Holly said, and Biden is well connected to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if they want to really stuff him around, all they have to do is appeal, and it might take years before they bloody hear them.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to watch the whole of that shadowproof thing. Kevin Gostola seems to know a lot about.
And it's like, if they're not going to extradite him, yeah, then there is no charge at all, and he's already been incarcerated for such a long time.
Yeah. Did anybody see this thing? Did anybody see Alex Jones talking at that Stop the Steal
I
2021?
saw it. It was disgusting.
Holy Toledo.
Jesus, God in heaven.
Wow. All he needed was a little toothbrush mustache and some black hair, and he would have been, wouldn't he, Didi?
Yeah. I already looks a little like Goring.
It was he was doing his best unhinged performance.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what those people are planning on doing, or whether Trump's actually going to try and organize riots in the street or what. Feels
What's
that
that?
way.
Oh, yeah. Trump,
With all this, provoking the MAGA mob.
yeah. As that, I heard that one of those Democrats is one that Georgia runoff thing. Is the other one doing well too? I don't really follow these things very closely.
I didn't pay attention.
Who's the... Holly said Assange was originally in jail for skipping bail, Ecuadorian embassy, but that time has passed, no reason to keep him. Well, there was a sort of a nothing. It shouldn't have been even a year. Warnock won. So does that mean both those candidates won? So instead of the two Republicans, Holly, that'll really piss Trump off. He said something. He was all capitalizing in Twitter, which means he means business.
Yes. Means it's serious.
It's serious. Like it's law and order.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here AOC on Twitter going, "Hello, it's a new day. Who's ready to push? Ready to push for, like happy healthcare?
Ready for push for help. We've decided not to use our power at all.
Yeah.
Oh, from suing. Odin says, I think some of what is going on here is to prevent Assange from suing.
She's so full of shit. That AOC. AOC.
Yeah.
Fucking bullshit. They're all full of shit. That what I can't. I've trouble with his name.
Who?
Jayapal or something. Not the woman. Oh, shit. What's his name? He's one of the progressives. He's pro-Israel anyway. His name escapes me right now. Pro-Israel. Yeah, you can be a progressive and be pro-apartheid. That's
Sure.
right. Of course
Sure.
you can.
We're progressing towards full-on fascism. Why not?
Anyway, there were things I was going to talk about tonight, but all the air has gone out of my sails now.
Yeah.
I feel kind of flat. Maybe we shouldn't do this for very long, Dee. Jamal
No,
Bowman,
that's
that's
all
the
right.
one. Jamal Bowman, he's pro-Israel and proud of it.
Yeah.
Oh, and Tim Canova, let me tell you a little story
Oh
about
God, that's
let me-
disgusting. Yes.
Let me tell you a little story about Tim Canova, because I've had to watch this sort of progressive group constantly sort of interviewing him and pushing him up. They did that with AOC too. You know, interviewing them and giving them all sort of, you know, and they're saying all the right things, and Tim Canova, yada, yada, yada. And I wrote to him privately, and I said, because I heard him say something, you know, he wanted Israel to be a Jewish state or something, and I wrote to him, and I posted all these different links to the Empire Files videos about Palestine. Really excellent. And I had a little back and forth with him, and he watched these, he said he did. He watched these Empire Files thing, and it did not change his mind. And then I sort of ended up, he ended up getting a bit stroppy with me, because he just wasn't. He kept on making up those bullshit political speak, you know. And so anyway, I just stopped talking to him, and I just thought, well, you're full of shit. And then, you know, but people kept,
Pushing him as the great
promoting him.
progressive.
And, you know, he's been on Jimmy Dore and all these different shows. Oh, Tim Canova, isn't he great? And then, you know, people don't, I don't know. It's like the whole palace, this is something that really pisses me off and really sticks with me, is how people are like Jimmy Dore ignored Tulsi Gabbard's Kufi speech in 2015, and a couple of times I gave him a super chat and sort of said, can you please ask Tulsi Gabbard to ask her about, you know, will she support, if she became president, you know, the $10.5 million a day of military aid to Israel? Will she continue doing that? Do you think that he would do that? And he kept saying, I forgot, it was only an hour's interview and I forgot. You know, I'm sorry, no you didn't. And I watched Cenk Uygur ask her a question, and he looked so apprehensive about asking her about Israel, and you should have seen the look on her face. Anyway, she had this, if people haven't seen it, go and have a look for the Kufi, C-U-F-I speech from 2015 that Tulsi Gabbard gave. It's a right-wing, rapture-loving group, organization of Christian right, you know, basically Christian fascists. She gave a talk to them, and it was a real sort of a gun-ho, you know, yeah, Israel. And she's also received an award, a Champion of Israel award. You know, and that was 5 years ago. Has anybody asked her, could you please, you know, say that you retract what you said in that speech, and that your opinion has changed?
Yeah.
No, nobody's asked her that.
Yeah.
And I noticed that, you know, this is sort of, for a lot of different groups, they just completely ignore this people, when they're pro-Israel or they're Zionist or stuff, it's like it's not an issue. It's like you can, that's just over there. I see it all the time, and I just think, and also they're, the imperialist stuff. They're not really focused on whether these people are imperialists or not, or that they have a leaning that way. And I see it time and time again. These people, these faux progressives, politicians, being elevated and promoted by everybody when there's suspect things about them. Or why they even bother when they're going to go into the Democratic Party where social movements go to die. I have no idea why people promote these people. I knew she was going to be a loser. This is AOC. When literally after she was elected, she was starting to backpedal on her position about Palestinian rights. She was already walking it back. And if you can do that to the most vulnerable group on the planet, the most vilified and maligned group on the planet, which I think Palestinians probably are, you can do that to anybody. If you're happy to stomp on a group that is so vulnerable and basically has little to no support from from mainstream, from corporate media, and from a lot of Western countries, you can do anything. So I just thought, oh, hello, another loser. You know what I mean? So it's just sort of, I don't know, I just get so tired of leftist media outlets giving these people a hand up, and then they just abandon them. This happens over and over again. Anyway, what I was going to say about Tim Canova is, today on Twitter, I noticed Robbie Martin posted this thing where he's supporting this Stop the Steal 2021 of Donald Trump. Now he's grifting to the right. And not only that, he actually, according to Status Quo, was smearing, and according to Jen Perlman, who was challenging Debbie Wasserman Schultz, he was smearing her. Jen Perlman, who was challenging Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Smearing her while she's trying to conduct a campaign. So that's another progressive in quotes. So, it's about time people stop giving these fuckers, who are really just careerists and use the leftist community to get into this godforsaken party, who absolutely has no interest whatsoever in the public, and that once they get in there, they're like, they're as happy as a lark, and they just forget about anything that any of the people that help them get there. And that's pretty much, I mean, oh, and another happy thing I saw today is, what's her name? Oh, shit, Cori Bush. No, not Cori Bush, Barbara Lee. Barbara Lee, and with Nancy Pelosi standing behind her, and Barbara Lee is taking a selfie with Nancy Pelosi behind her, and saying, and basically kind of happy as a lark, that she's voted in Nancy Pelosi, and everything's great now. And now we're going to do stuff for the people. For the people. Oh, yeah. We're going to do stuff for the people. Nancy and I are going to do stuff for the people. I mean, these are these faux progressives that people kind of keep holding up on their shoulders, and they become these celebrity politicians. It's just insane. We don't quite have that here, Dee Dee, do we?
No.
Thank Christ. No. It's just I just think the bar is so low.
Yeah.
The bar is so low there that, all you need is to say a few good things, and then everybody goes, oh my God, they're fantastic, we've got to support them. Yeah. And then when they do something shithouse, everybody pretends like it didn't happen, and then just keeps going on. People will keep voting for her, because even though she's outright voted for Pelosi, just gave up an opportunity for the next 5 years for Medicare for all. Yeah. They could have done something, and it wouldn't have defaulted to that Republican as a speaker.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have, because all they had to do was say that they were present, or that they voted for they picked somebody else, and then they would have taken it back to some caucus thing, and then it wouldn't have defaulted to that Republican as speaker. And the Young Turks put out this disinformation that was going to happen. And that's another loser group that people I'm completely flabbergasted that people keep referring to the Young Turks as if it's some kind of progressive outlet. I mean, how many things do they have to do before how many fuck things do they have to do, including getting $20 million from some right-winger, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and promoting Russiagate and all this sort of thing? How many fucking things do they have to do before people will say, oh, look, okay, that's enough? And then they were smearing Assange, then Namiki Konst and that other woman, whatever her name is, both of them are like one of them was standing with a Madeleine Albright and saying, how
exactly
thrilled they were to be with Madeleine Albright, the woman who said she thought it was worth it that 500,000 Iraqi children had died due to economic sanctions in the 90s. Here she is posing with Madeleine Albright. This is somebody from the Young Turks. They're a bunch of MSNBCers. They're Democratic Party loving neoliberals who are okay with Assange, who are okay smearing Assange.
Holly says, why is TYT still a thing?
Exactly. Why is it a thing?
Yeah.
Why is TYT still a thing? It's unfucking believable. I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway, it's just sort of like, good God in heaven, it's not surprising that things are such a fucking mess. With the kinds of people that people put trust in. I mean, I said right way back in the beginning with fucking Tulsi Gabbard, I said, the woman, look at this speech she's done in 2015. Look at it. And people, just all these people, just like it went into this black hole, as if it wasn't relevant, Didi.
Yeah. Yeah.
How could that not be relevant?
Because people
that's rhetorical.
I know.
There's no excuse for that, Didi. It was actually
not.
completely fascist.
What I was going to say is because people in the United States don't think beyond their borders and what's good for them.
What's that? Sorry.
People in the United States don't think beyond their borders. They're not concerned with imperialism.
No, but it's not even that. It's just that, these people are so inconsistent. I'm talking about this fraud squad, the fucking faux progressives and all the others. The 1 minute they're saying some soft imperialist thing, the next thing. I mean, do you see Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez this morning saying anything about this decision against Assange? I bet you she doesn't mention anything about it. They do exactly what the Democratic Party tells them to.
Yeah.
They get all their talking points every day, what's not okay to talk about, what's okay to talk about. I mean, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
They just disgust me.
Yeah.
I don't know, Anyway, it's
true.
It's just amazing.
It's disgusting.
I'm sorry, you can tell I'm a little bit ranty today.
Yes.
I'm just, And the thing is, and one of the reasons I'm feeling like this is, apart from just putting aside the Assange thing, is because I know that everybody's going to forget about this force the vote thing and those fucking stupid faux progressives. They're going to forget about it, and she's going to, she's already, I mean, she's that tweet she just did there. Yeah, what are we going to do now? Healthcare? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just as if it never happened. She's going to pretend now she's a real progressive and that,
and that
she's
fighting hard. She's fighting the good fight.
She's fighting the good fight. She's
doing it for everybody. She's working really hard.
Yeah. And she's going to keep on with that fucking narrative. And the sad thing is that all these people, a lot of people are going to just go along with it. They're going to have amnesia about any of the stupid things she's done, and she's already done a number of stupid things already, including that, voting for the CARES Act, and she was really deceptive with that Nancy Pelosi thing. She wasn't present when they asked her what she was going to vote for. And then she came in at the end and voted yes. So she was hoping that people wouldn't pay attention
And
when
this is
she came in
apparently a
right at the
trick.
last minute and voted yes. That's so deceptive, to do that.
Yeah.
So they all voted. I'm assuming Ro Khanna voted for Nancy Pelosi too. And that's another thing. People keep saying, oh, my good buddy Ro Khanna. He was putting out shit about Chavez, I think, and about Venezuela, all imperialist talking points. Like, does moral consistency, doesn't anybody value that anymore? Are people allowed to just be all over the place all the fucking time and everybody gives them a pass? I mean, how can you trust somebody who puts out shit, CIA talking points about Venezuela, which Ro Khanna did at one point? How can you trust somebody like that? And yet, you have them on these shows. Jimmy Dore sort of calls him a good friend. Ro Khanna. These people are not our friends. They're fucking soft imperialists at best.
Yeah.
And they're going to help with it when fucking, what's his name? Biden invades fucking Venezuela with that Lopez guy. At some point, there's going to be something happen. They're never going to give up. Biden has been messing in Latin America for God knows how long.
Well, Venezuela has the largest reserves of oil in the world.
Anyway, it's just, I just hate the way people keep giving these people a pass, these politicians a pass all the time. Like, they keep doing shit. Like, how is it acceptable to be putting out CIA talking points about Venezuela when he probably knows damn well that's what they are? Do you know what I mean, Dee?
Yeah.
He's not that stupid. These people are not that stupid.
No.
So if they're doing shit like that,
yeah.
how on earth can people trust them? I wouldn't trust these people as far as I could throw them.
Yeah.
And there's lives at stake. These are no small potatoes, these things these people do.
Yeah.
A whole country is at stake with that sort of propaganda shit.
Yeah.
And if you've got people who are supposed to be progressive putting out CIA talking points, then the people that are following them think that that's right. That's right. They must be right because they're real progressives. They're really progressives.
Yeah. Holly said Caitlin Johnston posted, "Ordinary Americans care only about America. Their leaders care about the world, empire, hegemony."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to break your...
No, that's very true. No, that's very true. This is very pretty. Anyway, I've had my little rant for today.
I find the swimming cows very restful.
The swimming cows, yeah. Is that what they are?
I don't know. They're...
Oh, and I heard something special today too.
Hooves.
That in Los Angeles, COVID is so bad now that the ambulance drivers are being told to preserve their oxygen, and when they go to a person's home, if that person looks like they're not going to survive, they just leave them and go. They don't take them to the hospital. That's what they've been instructed to do now. So this is the failed state, the USA. That is the failed state that people are living in.
If they're unlikely to survive,
I guess if they're gasping
if they're
for breath, Didi, I guess if they're gasping for breath and hypoxic, which is just, do they just leave them there in that state, or do they give them a euthanasia, a hit of morphine to knock them off? And what on earth? Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't even, and I hate to sound speciesist, but they probably wouldn't even leave a dog in a situation like that. Of course, I'm vegan, so I value non-human lives as much as human life, but I'm just saying, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's amazing to me to hear that.
Yeah.
What a failed state that is.
Yeah.
That's Los Angeles. So, and these are some of the things I'm going to talk about in that video tomorrow morning. But and here's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying that saying let's impeach Trump because of those Trump tapes, where he's basically trying to manipulate
the governor of Georgia.
The secretary or whatever, Raffensperger or whatever. and
Oh,
and here she is saying, "Oh, we should impeach Trump,"
yeah.
and that's performative because he's only got a few weeks before he gets, before he leaves,
Yeah.
but don't do the performative force the vote, which actually, and besides this, this impeachment thing being performative. How about it? There were so many things they could have impeached him on, like the genocide in Yemen, or basically
Yeah.
profiting in his presidency. He's made about 70 something million, and probably a lot more than that. He's had Saudi people staying at his hotels and all sorts of things. His children have made about $170 million, like
Yeah.
Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner, and they'll make a whole lot more when they leave.
Yeah.
How about those
The
kind of things? But no,
Rittenhouse is the other thing you might
oh,
want.
what about Rittenhouse? Oh,
Just that they're weren't they going to let him out and
they've already they
Yeah.
already put him out on $2
Yeah.
million bail.
yeah.
But he's got 5 anyway. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on with him. Yeah, anyway, but so here she is saying, "Oh no, the force the vote thing, that's just performative." But no, the impeachment thing, that's not performative.
Yeah. Odin says life means nothing in the States unless it's unborn. Well, only for the evangelicals. Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, Odin was having a go at the evangelicals and the
Oh, yeah.
the fact that life seems to mean nothing
Yeah.
unless it's unborn.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Fetuses are
Yeah.
are all important, but once they're born, bugger them.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, totally.
We can
Death
let them
penalty.
die, starve,
Yeah,
become
death penalty
homeless,
can be
get
fine.
COVID. Just abandon them.
Yeah, imperialist wars are fine, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I haven't seen. Has anybody seen Chris Hedges around talking? Is he gone on holidays or something? Probably. Anyway, that's very pretty, Dee Dee.
Yes, well, I thought just go underwater.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Secretary
And watch the
Secretary of
fish.
State of Georgia, yeah. Secretary of State of Georgia. I have trouble with their names sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find all these sort of domestic electoral politics stuff is kind of like, oh Christ,
Well, yes. It's amazing.
I mean, it's
more
so
about
they make it
US
so
and
complicated.
domestic political stuff than a lot of Americans do, but
I know very little, Dee Dee. I only know bits
Yeah.
and pieces where I see there's some point in mentioning it. I will.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's all so corrupt and stuff. And
Hi,
here
Jera.
they are.
Jera's here.
Oh, hi, Jera. How are you?
A group came in from somewhere and jumped all over Trudy, and she was making sense. We need to stop the mindless purity testing and divisive tribalism.
I don't know who Trudy is.
I'm not sure who Trudy is either.
Anyway, I hope you're well, Jera. Oh, excuse me.
Oops, I'm out of oxygen.
Well, I've been prattling on for 50 minutes now. Jesus, I can ramble, can't I?
Yes, you can. Now, I don't know if you want to keep
What is
rambling,
that? Trish, you know
keep
more
talking.
than Tigan Chenk. Oh. Oh, okay. Bye-bye, Jero. Who's Trudy? I don't know.
Somebody that
Bye,
they
Jera.
both know.
What's that?
Probably another group that they belong to.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing.
Right. Yeah, I don't even follow the domestic, politicians here in Australia because I don't know. just so much garbage comes out of people's mouths, and
Yeah.
I follow some of the main ones here, like Albanese, and the leader of the Labour Party and the Federal Labour Party, and because I want to see what sort of nonsense he's up to and stuff, and he doesn't disappoint, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, she's on another stream. You're correct, Trish. Oh, okay. What's that stream? Holly, do you know what that stream is? I don't know who Trudy is. Oh. Anyway, we can't give up on. We've got to keep doing what we can to help Julian Assange.
Yeah.
And if heaven forbid he ends up killing himself, well, there's not much we can do to stop that, but we can at least try to the bitter end, you know, to do what we can, the little we can. But if we all try something, you know. Hi, Spears646. Is there anywhere in the world that you can escape neoliberalism? Yeah, really.
Cuba, I think.
Cuba, Venezuela, maybe. They still
Yeah.
have a bit of that, though. There's a lot of privatized stuff there.
Yeah.
Bolivia.
Yeah.
Where
You
else
can
is there?
escape it a little bit in the sense that it's not what their government is trying to do, but then you can't escape the fact that the U.S. is trying to destroy it.
Yeah, exactly. If you live in some place where they're actually using resources for the people, you can expect to have coups and
Sanctions
invasions.
and
Yeah.
Invasions.
Isn't that charming?
And
Isn't it charming?
yeah.
Yeah. I can guarantee that probably if Australia decided to pull away from U.S. empire, the next thing we'd have another coup. They helped overthrow. I mention this often because I'm pissed off about it. The CIA admitted helping overthrow Gough Whitlam, who was an elected prime minister.
And was fabulous.
Yeah, he was very good.
He's the one who did free education.
Yeah,
and
free
health
education,
and,
free healthcare. He was against the wars. He didn't like the idea of Pine Gap, one of the Five Eyes things. He didn't like the Vietnam War. He wanted to use resources for the people, didn't he? He wanted to buy back the farm kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that was unacceptable, and the CIA intervened and helped overthrow him in 1975. I remember that. I was 15.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and it's been a neoliberal mess ever since. So I have a big axe to grind with that fucking empire for doing that. You know, because it's been. I could literally see it happening. You know, in the 80s, you know, you could see it was starting to go to
We've
shit.
lived through all that.
Yeah. You could see it in the workplace, neoliberalism coming in, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse.
The worst thing is that, you know, it was mainly the Labour
Hi,
Party
Mandy.
who put a lot of that in here.
Yeah, and the Labour Party, they helped with that too. This is the thing. They worked together to bring in neoliberalism, didn't they, Dee Dee?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
the
Labour
Hawke
Party
government.
even was dismantling, weren't they dismantling the unions and stuff?
Well, disempowering them,
Disempowering
putting
them, yeah.
restrictions on their ability to strike and things like that.
Yeah.
They even brought in the army to break a strike.
And we have an insight into the, one of the branches of the Labour Party, and it's supposed to be a progressive kind of a branch, and I mean you can
That's here
see
in
the way they
Tasmania.
deal with the issues there, that they have no intention of moving away from neoliberalism, do they, Didi?
No.
No, they haven't.
No,
They don't
none.
even have any care. They've completely abandoned the idea of any sort of free healthcare,
Yeah.
haven't they? Like actually returning to free healthcare, like Gough
Yeah.
Whitlam.
Really,
They're quite happy.
I mean, there's been this slow chipping away at our universal health care.
Yeah.
And we've got this weird system where people have private health. The government has encouraged people and subsidized private health insurance to try and reduce the use of the one payer, single payer thing, or Medicare, and it still, like most people recognize that the public hospitals are better than the private hospitals. And particularly the public teaching hospitals. And people will want to go to the public hospitals rather than a private hospital, even though they have private health insurance. A lot of people will do that. But to get elective surgery now, it becomes more and more difficult.
And so most people, like I have private health insurance and Dee Dee has private health insurance, because there are some things that you can get done, but you have to wait quite a while. Quite a while. If it's not an emergency, then you have to wait months and months and even sometimes a year or more. And that's just not okay. So it's sort of, and they make it that way so that you actually end up having to get health insurance. Like I got health insurance about 20 years ago. And that was because I needed something done that was getting worse and worse for me health-wise, and I needed it done, and I ended up, my parents ended up paying for it, and I thought, well, this is, because it went on for like 8 months, and my parents paid for it, and so I decided I better get out health insurance, because that's unacceptable. And and then I've had it ever since. So actually it's been longer than, probably 25 years maybe I've had it. And but we still have some semblance of health. I mean, I had 2 operations this year on my wrist, and that didn't cost me anything. So, I can be grateful for that. But I mean, they, just like everything, they just want to whittle it away. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Sometimes I think, I know this is going to sound very pessimistic, but sometimes I think I'm glad that I'm the age I am, because I don't want to see what this all turns into beyond. I've probably got another 25 years on the planet, maybe. And I don't want to see what I'm so glad I'm not 25 and having to navigate the sort of the awfulness of jobs and what the sort of things that are going on now. We're trying to find employment and how much it costs to get education and all that kind of stuff. I mean, this government's trying to bring in really expensive education things, aren't they? And they're actually making university like humanities type things. They're actually trying to make them really expensive, so that people.
They've been cutting back on humanities. It's part of that.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hi, Jeffrey. It's part of that whole thing where in the United States they started that, I think, the attempt to completely gut the humanities. And only go use universities and stuff for worker training, basically.
And this is one of the defining characteristics of fascism, where they actually attack the arts and things, Dee Dee. This is a really slow kind of fascism we're slowly kind of going to bring in here, just like the US. Hey, you can see it. You can see it happening. They bring in the sort of the surveillance. They're collecting people's metadata and stuff. There's all these different things. You can just see it sort of slowly coming in. And Odin says, if I had to pay for healthcare, I would have died twice, age 14. The first time, no way I could have afforded the ambulance, never mind the treatment. Where are you? Are you from Australia too, Odin? I can't remember.
Holly says defund the liberal arts. Yes.
Yeah.
They've been defunding that. They don't want anybody to look at history or sociology or economics except from business management standpoint.
Yeah. And it's so sad because Australia was not perfect by any means. Like the indigenous issue, the way indigenous people were treated, and all that's a real problem. We have lots of problems, but there were things that were really good about Australia. A few, like back about 30-40 years ago, wasn't there, Dee Dee?
Yeah.
And and we were really good with multiculturalism. And now we're getting
we were one of the kind of world examples of multiculturalism.
Yeah.
And we were actually a world example. We were one of the best renewable energy countries too.
Yeah. We were.
We did
we were
more
sort of
stuff with renewable energy.
And we didn't have people kind of coming out and panicking over toilet paper or refusing to wear a mask. We didn't have those kinds of people here, really, did we?
No.
We actually had some reasonably intelligent people here.
We didn't really have evangelical. I mean, there was the odd cult somewhere, but the whole evangelical Christian thing really wasn't around much.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen, Odin, that NHS documentary by John Pilger? I haven't seen that yet. They were planning on dismantling that back in the 80s, according to, was it John Pilger? Yeah, I think it was him. I haven't seen that yet anyway. Yeah. Oh, and what did I hear the other day from some doctor in the UK on Twitter? Oh, well, anyway, they're totally overwhelmed, basically. And they've got all these ambulances lined up down the street, and basically I think they can only take in COVID people now. There's so many. It's like it's making it the sort of things that I remember a physician was worried about 6 months ago. An ICU specialist said, the problem with this is, you end up that people who need, intensive care that aren't COVID people, eventually they can't get in.
Yeah,
so basically,
yes.
Yeah, and he said that 6 months ago, and that's what was happening. I think, that's what was going to happen, and that's what is happening. That's what's happening now in the UK and the United States. Fortunately, we've kind of kept a lid on things here in Australia, so it didn't turn into the awfulness that's in the UK and the US. But so I don't know. I'm so glad, even though we have a conservative, Ning Nong in office, the Scott Morrison, but it was actually the states that prevented it from turning into a crazy mess, wasn't it, Dee Dee?
Yeah.
And we actually sent, at the time when it first started, I read this article, I think it was the New York Times, about how nuts it was in Italy. This is, when it first started. And I sent that we're kind of friendly with some of the Labour politicians in Tasmania who are quite progressive. And I sent that to one of them because it was a really scary article. Anyway, that was he said, I don't know if he was just saying it to be nice, but he said that was one of the things we used to convince the Tasmanian government, which is a Liberal government, and that means conservative, convince them to raise the moat, basically raise the drawbridge and
John Pilger is brilliant, yes.
And keep and close the borders, wasn't it, Dee Dee? That's what he said anyway.
Yeah.
Because it was a really scary article, and I said, Tasmania could just turn into Italy just like that, couldn't it?
Yeah. Tasmania tends to have a lot of older people.
Yeah.
That's partly because a lot of the young people go off to the mainland, where it's more exciting.
Yes. Probably more job opportunities too, hey?
Yeah, more jobs. And yeah, when I say exciting, I mean There's all
Yes.
kinds of things that are
Yeah,
more.
yeah. I mean, Melbourne can be very exciting. So can Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Tasmania isn't the place to go if you want a really hooty-hoo kind of party time.
Or really to make a
you-
lot of money or
Yeah,
something
you
like
can.
that.
You can. You know, there's great places to go and stuff, but it's not like it's. Well, it's not Sydney.
There
and
tends to be more folk music, and there's kind of a fairly big folk music scene and that kind of thing here.
yeah,
But
we're just a bunch of hippies. No,
just a bunch of
No.
hippies, yeah. Well, no, not really.
Not really, no. But you know, we're just sort of more into the, the folk thing is really big here, and the somebody said something.
A lot of people have said
excuse
we're
me.
not reading.
I can't really.
anything,
I might post that. I'll post that. Oh, is that a link to the
it says, have you
NHS doc?
heard of a documentary called Taken for a Ride?
Okay. Anyway,
John Pilgrim's brilliant, yes. JP, yep. Thanks, Maggie. Everybody wanted to be the first back to the market. We'll pay for that in deaths and long-term damage. Yes, it's ridiculous.
why won't they let?
Odin did a link there.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah.
Why won't they let the owners of the channel unhide something? I mean, what are they?
I
and it's
don't know.
it's their own YouTube links too.
Yeah. I don't know, sweetie. It's
It
kinda
doesn't make
stupid.
sense.
Yeah.
Nandi's sitting on my lap and purring away. I don't know if he wants something or if he's just having cuddles.
Yeah.
I don't know if you live with cats, but it's so funny. Nandi's such a little lovelord, but when I'm not getting the message, when I'm not able to read his mind, because cats are sort of basically sitting
Because
there and hoping
sometimes
that
Trish has a hard time reading that.
cats sitting there hoping that you'll read their minds and think you're pretty stupid because you can't read their minds. And then he might nip me. It's like after a while he just gets tired of being patient and then he kind of gives me a little nip. It's
Yeah.
really funny.
Why have I got green all
Anyhow, I'll have a look at that. Excuse me. I'll have a look at that later. Odin, thanks for sharing that. Oh, Spears 646 said, I remember Taz being filled with Bible thumpers. Oh no. That was it. Was that the Brethren? What were they called?
Oh,
Didi?
the exclusive
Exclusive Brethren, yeah. Oh, I saw, by the way, Didi.
Yeah, they're wacko. They're up in
I
the
saw-
north.
I saw those,
Northwest.
you know, the Mormon-looking kind of the
Oh,
women.
those women.
I saw a couple of those women today.
Yeah, there's a little bit in the Huon Valley. There was obviously some sort of little group. We occasionally see these women in kind of the old-fashioned prairie dresses.
Yeah, prairie dresses
There's
and the
usually
hair and
a
the
man
scarves
and a
around
couple
the
of women,
hair.
or maybe 3 women huddled together.
Yes.
To resist the
Yes, to resist the evil.
evil.
Huddled together, you know, it's really weird and kind of a bit worrying. Because I don't know. I just wonder how free those women are. You know, it just looks really strange.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, really? Consortium News going live with John Pilger. Oh, I might have to watch that. I can't even listen to it. Let's see. Where is that? Damn it. We may have to.
Not so much like the Amish, Holly. It's more like the Mormon polygamists. The Amish are a bit more wholesome.
I don't see Consortium News going live. Let's see.
Oh, Spears said the Northwest is where I grew up till 1998.
Northwest where?
Northwest Tasmania, I'm assuming.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. I can't
Where
see
you
that.
grew up till 1998. How old are you?
What's that?
Spears
What?
said the Northwest is where I grew up until 1998.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm wondering, that
How
must mean
old?
you're fairly young.
Oh, okay. Yes. How?
Or I guess not that young. I don't know. Oh my, I've got yellow grass all over this little house. The house is filled
Yeah.
with yellow grass.
I don't see
Yeah.
that. If you can post that link, Holly, that would be really good.
I don't know if I can get out.
Yeah. Anyhow, mid-30s. Oh, mid-30s. Okay. Oh, do you mind me asking what your first name is, Spears? You don't have to.
You don't have to say.
You don't have to say. It's just nice to know people's.
We're not part of the Five Eyes system.
No.
I like this planet.
What's that?
I like this planet.
Oh, okay.
I'll go into the...
Oh, Jamie. Nice to meet you, Jamie. I'm Trisha and
I'm
Dee
Dee
Dee. There's Dee Dee. So, uh-oh. So that's, when is that? Oh no, it's in 5 minutes. Did you, I might have to watch that later. Maybe you can, I can't listen to it while I'm doing this, live stream, but, if you feel like, oh, is it already, it's not already going, is it? No. Oh, John Pilger and Roger Waters. Okay. It's a live stream with John Pilger and Roger Waters. Anyway, Dee Dee? Dee Dee? Oh. We may even sign off and sort of let people watch that because that's probably pretty important. I was thinking that, Dee Dee, we might sign off and let people watch that. I might watch that because that's pretty important. John Waters and John Pilger. Oh, not John Waters, Roger Waters. Yeah. Is Palestine is still the problem. They still relive the... Anyway, we might sign off now, and because that John Pilger, Roger Waters thing was probably pretty important and pretty good. Oh, oh, I'm sorry, Lorna. We're just about to sign off because there's this happening shortly. I think it's going to be happening in the next few minutes. So thanks so much for dropping in, and let's keep fighting the good fight for Julian Assange and do our best.
And for Palestine.
And yes, for all of that. But, you know...
for Iran. And
yeah, for all of that. But we need to keep pushing for Julian Assange's freedom. So, and thanks for joining in, Lorna. The link is to
Hi,
this
Lorna.
John Pilger thing is here. And thanks, Holly, for that. And anyway, thanks so much for dropping by. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
And
It's lovely.
thanks so much, Jamie, and Holly, and Lorna, and Odin, and anybody else who might be lurking, and Jera. So we'll see you soon, and peace.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Bye.